Dear learners, welcome to today's session. So today it is a BSOC 132. It's a general sociology papers. So I must welcome to all of you from today's session, and I must thanks to our academic counselor, Dr. Manas Dakua. No doubt he is a very veteran. He's a very good counselor. Definitely will enjoy. His class. Sir has studied all his masters, MPhil, PhD from. With a very reputed universities. So students, I mean, you will enjoy, and you should not feel that the teacher will taught you everything, and in our system not says and not believe on that. So distance education is believes on technology. Okay, so and before studying that, I can tell you, please kindly write your enrollment number name in the chat box for the admission purpose. And I mean, uh, in true sense, it's no doubt. It's a very tough time. It's a very critical juncture. Now this corona has taught us one new things. A face-to-face interaction is very minimal now. No doubt, in distance education, it's not. The meeting and frequent interaction is very minimal. So, but whatever the things is possible now, the study center is closed down. So now it's forced for us to use our Google Meets. This Google Meets help us to just, I mean, gap the bridge. Now the learners feel should not feel isolated. Because of that reason, my RCS putting lot of hard labor to just join with our learners. I must thanks to our director, regional director SK Tripathi. He is all the times insisting us to do this kind of things. And whoever, for the recording assignment, examination, and I mean, whatever the student support service you want. Don't feel any problem. You can call to us and you can write our email to us also. Our email ID is asifbhubaneswar@ignou.ac.in. And student, I can tell you one thing. Before coming to class, please kindly go through the materials. Don't then the counseling is very effective, because counselor cannot teach all entire course within a six classes. Okay, so what I'm telling you, we will come and you can go through with the material, then will come, then you have a lot of doubts, you can ask lot of question to sir. So sir will present first, then whatever doubts, whatever question, whatever clarification you want, you just unmute your mic, then you can ask the question to sir or me, whatever things you want. So I request all of you to please kindly put your mic in the mute mode, and I don't want to take much time. So straight away I welcome you, Manas sir, and I hand over the
Thank you,
session
sir.
to Manas sir to start this presentation.
Okay, sir. So, good morning, all learners. So, as sir discussed about me, that I'm Manas Dakua, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me later. So, today we'll start with uh, mm, our BSOC 132, that Sociology of India. So, in graduations, in initial stage, I think you understand about the society, communities, all the fundamental things. So sociology is about what? It is two. One is fundamental, which is general in nature. So another is specific, that is specific to our Indian society. So we know that what is sociology? Now sociology is the systematic scientific study of society. Then what is society? The society is a web of relationship. So similarly, in this paper, we will discuss about the all aspect of Indian society. We know our culture, we know our traditions, everything, but not in a clear manner. So first we have to understand what is about India. Okay. So why Indian culture is different from other cultures? Why Indian society is little bit different from others? So we'll discuss about that. So we know. So first, I will give you brief uh, explanation about this paper. So in that we'll discuss about first why India is a plural society. Okay. For example, in that we'll discuss about unity in diversity. Then what are the changes? Why India is a unity and diversity? Means both things are available in India. So in India we have unity and we have also differences. So we'll discuss about that. Then we'll discuss about how society changes. how Indian society changes and what are the factors of changes. So Indian society କାହିଁକି changes ଆସୁଛି ବା factors କ'ଣ ବା problems କ'ଣ ଆସୁଛି, so ସେଇଟା discussion କରିବା. Then we'll discuss about other aspect, for example structure, the structure of Indian society. So what is the structure? In simple terms, structure means the systematic. Okay, how Indian society is stratified, how Indian society systematically stratified. In that we will discuss about many topics. For examples, like we'll discuss about what is tribe, what is caste, what is class. So these are the part of Indian society. Okay, we'll discuss about different aspects of all these things. Tribe कौन, जनजाति कौन, class कहवा, caste कहवा, all are part of this Indian culture. Then we'll discuss about the institutions. Because in society consists of institutions. ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ system, ସେମିତି system means what? Na interrelated part of all the institutions. ଆମେ simply ଯଦି Indian society କହିଦେବା ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ତ ତା ଦେହରେ ଆମେ institution को ଆମେ discussion କରିବା. For example, briefly କହିଦେଉଛି, institution means what? Na those who are regulatory things, part of the society, ସେଟାକୁ ଆମେ institution କହିଦେଉଛେ. Similarly, ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା what are the institutions, how many institutions we have in India? So in India we have major 5 institutions which are the part of Indian society. For example, ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା social institutions. So in social institution ରେ କ'ଣ ସବୁ ଆସିବ? ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ society is a web of social relationships. So we are connected with different relations. So without relations it is not possible. So as a member of society we have to connect with each other. Neither we will be like a beast. I mean, what is the difference between an animal and a human beings? So animals, they have no institutions, they have no cultures, but in society we have various institutions which regulate our behavior. So regulation is very important. So social institution कहले हम main important institutions होचे जेମିତି family, marriage, kinship, जोड़ा आज member of society हमें जानिते सब, but it is not possible to explain sociologically. So why sociology is different? Because sociology explain everything. We know what is family, परिवार कौन जानिचे, but how many types of families are there? We are not aware. So what is the importance of family in society? We are not aware. Similarly, marriage. Why marriage is one important social institutions? Okay. So to maintain the society, okay. So we need these systems, marriage. Similarly, kinship. So what is kinship? Kinship means relationship bonds. Generally, society is a web of relationship. So there are various relations. Some close relations and some outer relations. So kinship, it is our close relation. It is a part of our family. It is also related to marriage. So what is kinship? Kinship means a bond, relationship bonds. So various kinship, some are relatives coach. So some are near relatives, some are distant relatives. So relations also based on different criteria. For example, relations based on blood. So through blood, we make some relations, like father son or mother son, their children, close relatives. Similarly, also we create some relations through marriage. So there are some cases, for example, consanguineous, which is related to blood, affinal, that is that relations created through marriage, and adaptation. So without relations, without interaction, it is not possible to maintain the social institution. So these are the important institutions of society, social institutions. Similarly, what are the other institutions which are important for the society? Similarly, education institutions. So for survival of a society, we need educated individuals. So education also very important. Education institutions, for example, education both type, formal educations are there, informal educations are there. Formal education means those who learn from the social means the educational institutions. For example, school, college, or other institution, universities. These are formal education. Similarly, other informal education means what? Now, what we learn from our family, from our society. So that is informal social institutions. So, Jemidi, in sociology, in fundamental sociology, maybe you know about socialization. What is socialization? Socialization means a process of learning. So, as a member of society, so we learn many things, formally and informally. So, this informal education, for example, we learn from our family our basic things which are needed for a good member of the society. For example, basic is like, for example, language, family custom, traditions, how to behave, how to respect. So all these things we learn from our family or through this socialization. So these education institutions also are very important. Similarly, other institutions, for example, religious institutions. Religious institution means the religious institution କହିଲେ ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହିବା different religion ର different ତାଙ୍କର their worshipping patterns ଅଛି, different gods are there. So what means the main reason of religion is faith. Okay, what is the religion? Religion means believe on some supernatural power, means which is not in our control. So indirectly also we regulated by religion. So social, educational, religion. Similarly, another important is political. So why political institution is important? Now, political institutions are the regulatory bodies, formal regulatory bodies which regulate, which control the behavior of citizens or the member of society. So political institutions କହିଲେ ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହିବା political parties हो, votings हो, those who are related to politics. So political institution also important. So we'll discuss about that in our last chapter, last block. So what is state? So types of states. So we will discuss about that. Then another institution is what? Economic institutions. So social, educational, religious, political, and finally is economy. So economic institution also very important. So economy ଗୋଟେ society survival ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ economy ଦରକାର. ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା ଗୋଟେ any society, not only Indian society, any society. So basic things for survival is what? Now food, clothing, and shelter. So all these things are fulfilled only through economy. So economic institution means what? For examples like banks, economic institutions like regulatory institutions like Reserve Bank, other banks, SEBI, or the rules regulations by this body. So through economy, a society will survive. So economic institution also very important. So we'll discuss about that. Then we'll discuss about social identities and change. Social identities means what? Now there are some movements, many movements. For example, in our Indian society, Indian constitutions, so there are many rights that we have. So when our rights hampered, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମ rights hamper ହୁଏ, ତ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କଣ ନା ଆମେ movement କରୁ. So the social identities and change ଆମେ କଣ ନା different movements. ଯେମିତି ଆମେ କହିବା Dalit movement ହଉ, gender based movement. Okay. Travel and kindly mute your phone. Okay. So tribal and ethnic movements. So these are some movements we'll discuss in that sections. So in block 1 we'll discuss about unity and diversity, then change in India. So in block 2 we'll discuss about social structure and practices. For example, what are the structure of the society and what are the practices by different tribes, caste and class. Then we'll discuss about social institutions and change. For example, family, marriage, kinship, and what are the changes we found now in India. Then we'll discuss about in block 4 we'll discuss about social identity as change. Dalit movement ho, gender based movement ho. Gender based movement means what? What is gender? Gender means socio-cultural differences between male and female. So say that. So we'll discuss about that what are the reason of this movement. Then we'll discuss about tribes and ethnic movements. So there are many tribal movements from the beginning of independence till now. It's going on. So we'll discuss about that. Then next in next block we'll discuss about other institutions, for examples like state. Okay. So what is state? Types of states. Then there is a relation between state, society, and religion. Okay. So Indian society there is a changes as to what are the reasons? Nah, this is because of states, society, and
Sir,
religion. Yes.
sir, actually, what is the difference between BSOC 132 and BSOC 102? Code.
102. No,
BSOC 10.
actually, I have know about only that 132 Society of India. You have syllabus?
Sir. Actually, this year 2020 January session I joined IGNOU, but
Yeah.
actually my code was BSOC 101, 102, 103, 104, and I got message yesterday to join classes. And this.
Actually,
Uh,
yeah, actually, I have no idea. You contact with our coordinator, Paningai sir. So, so ସିଏ କହିଦେବେ ତମକୁ ହେଲା।
ଓକେ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସାର୍ ସାର୍
ଓ
କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବରଟା କେଉଁଠୁ ପାଇପାରିବି ଆପଣ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟିକେ କହିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଦେନ୍ ଆଇ
ନାଇଁ you are in a group, WhatsApp group ରେ ଅଛ?
no ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ନାହିଁ।
I will give my number. Okay. Neither sir
How you
will.
will give?
No, actually our coordinator sir last को ଆସିବେ last ରେ concluding session ରେ sir ଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରିଦେବ। Okay.
ହଁ ସାର୍ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ସାର୍ ସାର୍ଙ୍କ ନମ୍ବର କେଉଁଠି ପାଇବି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ସାର୍।
ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବି ନହେଲେ। Okay.
ଆପଣ ଏଇ ନମ୍ବରରେ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବେ ସାର୍।
ହଁ ହଁ ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବି।
ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସୋ ମଚ୍ ସାର୍।
So then in unit 4 we will discuss about social identities and change. So in that we'll discuss about Dalit movements, gender-based movements. So what are the main issues related to gender? Women movements we will discuss. Then we'll discuss tribal and ethnic movements. So ସେଇଟା discussion କରିବା last in another block we'll discuss about state, society and religion. What are the relation between all these things? So in that we'll discuss about some problems related to these problems and solutions. So in that we'll discuss two things. One is communalism and another is secularism. So communalism is a problem, secularism is a solutions. Okay, we'll discuss about that. So today we'll start with our first block. Okay, so introduction. Okay, so in introduction we know that India is a diversified country. So first we'll discuss about what is unity and what is diversity. So generally unity means integration, diversity means differences ବା ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହିପାରିବା the stratification differences ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛେ ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି diversities. So ଆମ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ unity ବି ଅଛି ଆଉ diversity ବି ଅଛି. So what are the unity? For example ଆମେ ଯଦି unity କହିବା unity like geopolitical unity, the institution of pilgrimage, tradition of accommodation, tradition of interdependence. So these are some unity. Means India is a diversified country, but still we have some unity among us. Then what are the diversities? Various diversities are there. For example, racial diversities, linguistic diversities, religious diversities, caste diversities. So these are diversities and these have created some problems. So in that we'll discuss about this concept and also we'll discuss about what problems arise from this diversity. So first we'll start with unity. As you know, from very beginning, from our traditional society to till now, we have cooperation. Unity means what? Cooperation. Cooperate with each other or achieve something with working together. So to maintain the stability of a society or particularly in Indian society to maintain, so we have to cooperate with each other. So we need unity. Then a society will progress. So first thing is what we have unity. Now first we have a geopolitical unity. So geopolitical unity means what? The geo means what? The physical structure of a society. So we in India we have our particular territory. If we discuss about a state, what are the four main things about state? Four main things are what? Population, one thing that is most required. Population, territory, government, and sovereignty. So one important thing is what? The territory. So to maintain the sovereignty or to maintain the unity, we need a particular territory. So territory is very important. Territory means boundary. So we have a clear-cut picture or we have a map of India. So that signifies that we belong to a particular state. So for example, nowadays there is constant conflict between India and China related to our territory or boundary. Okay. So it means what? Now for a society, we need a territory. So Indian society has a particular boundary we have. So geopolitical unity means what? Geo, you understand the physical structure of the society means we have a map. Then what about political? Political means we govern by a single state or single constitutions. ଯଦି ଆମେ କହିବା ଗୋଟେ state ର କଣ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି populations, territory, government and sovereignty. So next is government. So we are governed by a political party or we are governed by systems. So why we need this governance? To regulate the citizens. So from Kashmir to Kanyakumari or from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. So we are bound by geographical or political unity. So that is first. So to maintain a society, we need this geopolitical unity. So first unity is geopolitical unity. Next is what? Now the institution of pilgrimage. Institution of pilgrimage means what? For examples like political institution, religious institution also very important. So how we are united by through religion. So religion create disturbances, create inequalities, but still it's united the citizens. So we Indians we are united by this pilgrimage. Pilgrimage, for example, we have faith on God. So different religions they have different worship. For example, we share our culture with others. Okay, maybe the different religion practices are different, but we are united through these pilgrimages. Okay, so that is, and another thing is tradition of accommodation. So first you understand sociology is very conceptual subject and you have to understand all the concepts. For example, many terms which are you are not aware as a member of society. What is family, what is kinship, but everything we know. What is religion, but there are some terms which are not we don't know about that concept. Similarly, here is a term accommodation, tradition of accommodation. So tradition of accommodation means what? Now accommodation mane koi accommodation mane hochi kono? Now we have to accommodate or adjust. In simple terms, accommodation means adjustment. So that is known as accommodation. So tradition of accommodation means what? Now from our history till now, we adjust with each other. So accommodation and another thing is it is adjustments what? Now there are some social processes, okay, positive processes and negative processes. For examples like cooperation, first India would feature unity. Unity means what? Cooperation. Similarly, others are what? Integration. Unity they call it. The cooperation integrations are very important for India. So say now accommodation means what? Now first conflict hela pore jito adjustment huए तो ताकू कुहाଯାଏ accommodations. Okay. So similarly ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା from the history from medieval period to till now. So we know that Indian society is a Hindu society. Okay, majority people belongs to Hindu. So in Indian society is the origin of many religions. So first religion is Hinduism, which is very old age. Okay. So তার কিছু মানে there is no beginning. Could start it? We are not aware. Only through Vedas we know that from Vedic society, that Indian society started or religion started, all the things. But in medieval period, other religions also emerged. So before Christ, but before we see, so already Hinduism there, then other religions in 6th century BC, other religions emerged. For examples like Buddhism, Jainism. So these religions are emerged in 6th century BC. So you see that we think that we are Indians means we are Hindus, but then we accommodate with other religions. So we follow other religious practices, Buddhism or Jainism or Christianity. Indian society is a Hindu-dominated society. For that reason, they not easily accepted other religions. But slowly they accepted that okay, we accommodate with each other. So Hindu people also follow Buddhist principles, Chinese festivals. So we accommodate. So Indian society accommodate with different religions and their practices, culture. Then come to the medieval period. So in medieval period, what? Now in medieval other religions, for examples like major religion is Islam. Okay. So Muslims came and Islam means Islam religion spread in India. So there is conflict, but still again Indian society accommodate, mean adjust with that religion. So we adjust with the cultures, we adapt with the religion. So then come to the modern India. So in modern India also we accommodate with other religions. Take the example with Britishers in modern India. With Britishers, Christianity started in India. And if the Christian missionaries they spread Christianity in Indian society, then we accommodate. We adjust with that religion. We adjust with their culture. We adjust with their food patterns, with their customs. So we adapt it, when adapt or we adjust. Because for the survival of a society, we have to adapt with the new situations. Okay. So that is so India ର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ main important କଥା କଣ? Now we accommodate, we adjust easily with others. So our Indian society is known for tradition of accommodations. So tradition means what? Traditions means the practices, the beliefs, and tradition is very old. So ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ so through this tradition we accommodate with other religions. The another is tradition of interdependence. Okay. So interdependence also very important. So interdependence means what? Now we have to we depend with each other. So in for example, ତା ଦେହରେ କଣ ଆସୁଛି? Unity ଆସୁଛି, diversities ବି ଆସୁଛି, cooperation ଆଉ conflict ବି ଆସୁଛି. Okay. So similarly, interdependence also a very important part of the survival of a society. So take the case of any example from Indian society. Any example. Take the case of caste system. So caste system is an example of stratification. Caste means what? There is differences. There is inequalities in caste system. But different caste in economic case. So in economy also everybody they interdependent with each other. Without interdependence it is not possible. Interdependence ଯଦି ଆମେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଭଲସେ example ଦେଇ ବୁଝେଇବା ପାଇଁ for examples like division of labor. Division of labor means what? Now one work is distributed among different peoples. So similarly you see in caste system also different peoples they depend on each other. So interdependence is there. So this is also one important part of Indian society that there is interdependence କାହିଁକିନା ଯେତେବେଳେ interdependence ଥାଏ ସେତେବେଳେ ହିଁ cooperation ଆସିବ। ଓକେ ତ so ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ହେଲା ନା ତ ଆମର ଇଏ ହେଲା ଚାରିଟା ୟୁନିଟି ମେନ୍ ଫିଚର୍ସ ଅଫ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ why India society is a united society or unified society। କାହିଁକି ୟୁନିଟି ଅଛି ନା because of this all reasons geopolitical unit means we have a particular territory we governed by political system, then the tradition of pilgrimages means religious institutions, then tradition of accommodation means we adjust with each other, then tradition of interdependence means we depend on each other. So there are many castes, many religions are there, but still they are interdependent on each other. So these are the unity part. So now we come to the diversity part. That why Indian society is a diversified society. ଯେମିତି terms ଟା କହିଲେ unity in diversity। ଏକତା ମଧ୍ୟରେ ବିବିଧତା ଯେମିତି ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ତ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି diversity। Diversity means what? ନା differences। ତ ତାକୁ ଆମେ diversity କହୁଛେ। Then how Indian society is diversified? Differences କେମିତି ଆସିଛି? For example, racial ହଉ, linguistic ହଉ, religious ହଉ ବା caste ହଉ। So same thing ଯୋଉଟା ଆମ ଭିତରେ unity ଆଣୁଛି ସେଇଟା ଆମ ଭିତରେ diversities ବି ଆଣୁଛି। Okay, so ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ these are the diversities। So we'll start with the caste, that how we are diversified on the basis of caste। So we have different caste in our Indian society। In general ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ତ Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra। So these four castes are there। So these are what na differences, different castes they have different practices। Okay, there are different cultures they have। So in this way we are diversified, differences are such. Similarly, linguistic differences. Linguistic differences means language। So language also a example of these differences by diversities। In India, we know that means thousands of languages are there। Okay. So one thing you remember, there is difference between language and dialect। Language means what? Now language are both means we speak and also we have scriptures. But in dialect only we speak. So they have no scriptures। So you see in India we have many languages are there। We are diversified on the basis of language। ଆମେ ଯଦି simply ଦେଖିବା Dravidian culture ଆଉ Aryan culture, ଆମେ ଯଦି go back to Vedas ଯିବା ତ in that time we have Sanskrit। So Sanskrit was the main language of Indian society। Okay, first ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆମେ ବେଦ language କହୁଛେ ବା ବେଦ ଭାଷା କହୁଛେ, so that is known as very traditional language। So Sanskrit, then other languages for examples ଯେମିତି Sanskrit କହିଲେ same Dravidians they have different languages Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada। Okay, differences। Similarly other languages like Urdu in north part is dominated by Hindi language। Similarly in other parts Assamese, so for example in eastern part Bengali, Odia, Gujarati, Sindhi। So many languages we have। So we are united by geopolitical, united by territory, but we have differences on the basis of languages। So ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ unity and diversity discussion କଲା ପରେ ଆମେ discussion କରିବା ଯେ how it's create problem in the society। So this linguism ବା linguistic problem also major differences of India। So we are diversified on the basis of different languages। So languages create means conflict in this Indian society, linguism। So always there is constant conflict between these Aryans and Dravidians। Okay, so Aryans means Hindi speaking people, they think that we are dominated, and that South Indian people speaking they are not dominated। Okay, inferiority they have। So on the basis of this language, there is conflict in the Indian society। So one is caste differences, then caste system। So caste is different castes are there, diversity by. Then second is what? Now religion, religious differences where ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛେ communalism। So that is also create disturbances and create differences in Indian society. So caste, religion, language, and finally racial. Racial means what? Race means what? Now race are a group of people those who are physically and culturally different from others. Okay, so that is known as means a race. Okay, ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛେ breed by race କହୁଛେ different. So caste is different, race is different. So caste is based on what? Based on occupation. But race is what? Race is based on physical appearances and culture. Okay, ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛେ ethnicity ବା କହୁଛେ ସେ race. So in India we have different races. Okay, more example ଦେଇ ଦଉଛି clear ହବ. For example ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହୁଛେ ଆମର ଯଦି ଅଛି ମାନେ different races ଯେମିତି ଧର suppose on the basis of color different races are there. Okay, some are black, some are red, some are white. Okay, physical appearance, for example, some are short, some are tall. So on the basis of this and different cultural diversity. So different races they have different cultures. So on that basis also there are differences. Example, ଯେମିତି ଅଛି negrito. Okay. For examples like black peoples, I'm जो negrito କହୁଛେ, negro କହୁଛେ. So negrito is one race. Similarly, another race is what? Another race is Protosteroids, Mongoloids, Aryans, Dravidians. So these are some different races. So these races are on. Now these races are based on this physical appearances. For example, Aryans they are very tall, okay, fair. So that is one thing, and they are different. Their food pattern, their culture is different. Similarly, if we discuss about Dravidians, okay, so they are different. Their color is different, their appearance different, their food pattern, their culture, religious practices are different. Similarly, another jiti ame kaha Mongoloids, for example, northeastern peoples. Okay, so they belongs to Mongoloid race. Okay, so Mongoloid race means they are such, their color is different, their cultural practices, their languages, everything is different. If we discuss about Protosteroids, okay, take the example of eastern part of India. So they belong to Protosteroids. Okay, so our physical appearance, so our cultural patterns are different. So in this way, we have different races in our India. So on that basis, we are differentiated. So what are the differences ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି caste. So from caste, what problem created? Casteism. Language differences. What problem? Communalism. Similarly, on the basis of race, racism, ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ there is a conflict between Aryan and Dravidians. Okay, that is. Then caste, religions, racial, then linguistic. On the basis of language also we have differences and problem created, that is linguism. So linguism problem started. So in this way Indian society is diversified. So from the above discussion we clear that in India there is unity as well as there is diversity. So for that reason India is known as unity in diversity. We are united but with some differences. So unity maintain integrations, dependency, but differences create conflict in the Indian society. So these are the problems. For example, there is religious conflict, racial conflicts, okay, language conflict. So these are created problems and differences in society. So Indian society is a unity in diversity. We are united. We are united why? Now we are united on the basis of geopolitical unity, on the basis of our tradition of pilgrimages, tradition of our accommodation, means how we adjust with each other. Then what? Now then tradition of interdependence. So interdependence means what? Now cooperation. So for a maintenance for any society, it may be Indian society, other society, we need this both things always are there. The social processes like cooperation, competition, conflict, integration, adaptation, assimilation. So assimilation means what? Now when two cultures interact with each other, they assimilate with each other. one culture to other. I mean, there is exchange of culture, cultural practices. So in India, we have all these things. We have unity, we have diversity, we have cooperation, we have competition. Then we have what? Now we have also adjustment. We have assimilation. Assimilation means what? मुझे एମିତି କହିଲି two cultures are integrated with each other. So in Indian society, for take the example of religion. So in religions, all there are some different practices of different religion, but still we exchange our customs traditions. So Muslims they celebrate with Hindu festivals. Hindu people celebrate with Muslims, Muslim culture. So in this way, we interact with cultural or cultural practices. Similarly, in any caste or youth review, we assimilate. Okay, so that is so assimilation is there, adjustment is there, cooperation is there, competition is there. So everything is there. So on the basis of these processes, Indian society is known for unity in diversities. Then we'll discuss about the problems. As I had discussed that all because of these differences, many problems created. The major problems, যেମିତି କହିଲେ, racism, casteism, so these are what? Now these create hurdles. So ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛେ these are the hurdles for the unity. All the differences means in other sense ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା these are the threats to our unity or national integration. Threat to national integration. Communalism. It's a threat to our national unity. If always there is constant conflict between different religions, there is no question of development. So for a development and smooth functioning for government, what we need cooperation, not conflict. But because of this religious conflict, it's problem created. The all the focus will go to the problems, not for development. So that is a threat. Similarly, in casteism, that is a threat to national integration. Linguism, that is a threat to national integration. Maybe we have a common language that is English. Okay, English is universal, but still we have English. We have our national language Hindi. So these different religions, different languages create threat to Indian national integration. So for example, if we discuss about after independence, so many states are emerged on the basis of language. We know that India is one. We fight for the independence of India. But after independence, when states are formed, that formed on the basis of language. So from the beginning, our unity is disturbed. For example, first state, Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh started on the basis of this language. Okay. If we discuss about our language, Odia language. So Odia language also means what? Odia language is created. For example, earlier Odisha, Bengal, Bihar, they are one part. But because of this dominance or sovereign dominance, so Odisha is created in 1936, 1st April. So why is Odisha created? It is because of the language issue. Because Bengali people they dominate over Odia language. So Odia language is sovereignated on the basis. So for that reason, on the basis of language, because of the contribution of many eminent personalities, persons, so Odisha is created. But that is before independence in 1936. But after independence, Andhra Pradesh created on the basis of languages. Punjab created on the basis of languages. So on the basis of different languages, states are created. Similarly, if we discuss about on the basis of other things, for examples like Andhra and Telangana. Okay, so their part, their language is same, but they means because of some differences, they are divided. So on the basis of this issue, it's create problem for the Indian unity. Okay, it is also a threat to national integration. Means language. So it is not possible to follow one language. It is very difficult. Okay, because why we say that it is a mother tongue. Okay. So from the beginning, we are socialized on the basis of our own languages. So because of this linguistic feeling or superiority inferiority, one term is there ethnocentrism, means feeling of superiority or inferiority, that our language is superior and other languages are inferior. So because of this superiority and inferiority complex, it's created threat from the our national unity. So that is one thing. So religions, linguistic. So another major problem is what of India? Regionalism. So regionalism also a very big hurdle or threat to our integration, our country. Regionalism means what? As we know from newspaper or from other sources, that different states there fight for their rights. So regional differences. Okay, ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଜିଓପଲିଟିକାଲ ୟୁନିଟି ଅଛି ଯେ we belongs to one state or one nation, but within that also we have differences on the basis of this territory. So territory within territory. So we belongs to India, but we give preference to our region. So first we think about our own family, then we think about the community, then we think about the region, then we think about India. So we are saying that we are Indian, but ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ସବୁବେଳେ regionalism is there, regional feelings. So regional feelings, different issues are there. It's maybe related to territory. Okay, territory boundary କି ନେଇକି ଯେମିତି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଚାଇନା ହଉଛି ସେମିତି different ଯେମିତି territory issue ରେ ଯେମିତି ତେଲେଙ୍ଗାନା and ଆନ୍ଧ୍ର separate ହେଲା. Why? That is because of this regional issue, that other regions are superior and we are inferior. So for that demand, they separate. Similarly, other issues, for example, related to Northeast. So they demanded Nagaland, Bodoland. Why? Now because they think that we are inferior and we are what? We are deprived from the services. We are neglected by the system. So for that reason, they demanded different territories. Similarly, on the basis of culture also, ଆମେ ଯେମିତି ରିଜନାଲରେ କହିବା ରିଜନାଲରେ ଯେମିତି ଟେରିଟୋରି ଆସୁଛି ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ପୁଣି କଲଚର ବି ଆସୁଛି. So cultural inferiority superiority means our culture is superior, their culture is inferior. So on that basis also they are exploited, neglected. ଆଉ କଣ ଟେରିଟୋରି ନା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ରିଜନାଲିଜମ ର another issue is what? First is it is about the territory, but another issue is what related to resources. ବା ଆମେ ଯଦି economy କହିବା. So some states are very prosperous and some states are very poor. Why? And it is because of resources. Resources କହିବା well by କହିପାରିବା ବା development କହିପାରିବା on the basis of different states. They feel that our state is superior and other states are inferior. So why it is possible? It is because of economy. It is because of wealth. I will give you one example. After independence, when there is food scarcity is there, so one revolution started, green revolution. Okay. So green revolution means what? Now huge production of food crops. So it କାହିଁକି ହେଲା not to secure the food problem, but it is a part of development. If there is any revolution, if there is much production, ତାହେଲେ ତ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ development ପାଇଁ ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା, development କାମରେ ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା, ଗୋଟେ state ବା ଆମ Indian society development ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା. But it regionalism is କାଇଁ ଆସିଲା? It is because disparities. It is because of inequality distribution of resources. You see, green revolution started in western part. For examples like uh, Punjab and Haryana. So Punjab, Haryana become prosperous. Why? And it is because of surplus production, because of their economic production. So they become prosper. But what about other parts? Other parts, their production is not increases and they become poor states. Okay. ଯେମିତି ଆମେ କହିବା ଗୋଟେ concept ଅଛି bimaru state, means some states come under this category that they are very economically they are very poor. So because of these resources, so there is inequalities different states. ଆଉ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା for example resources means which states have more resources, more industrialization. You see all the in our India, So many states are very industrially developed. Take the example of like আমি যদি কইবা যদি ধরো গুজরাট, Maharashtra. Why they are very prosperous? That is because of their economy, availability of resources, who, by opportunities, who. Because of that, they are prosperous. If we discuss about some western part, sorry, like northern parts, for examples like Bihar, Chhattisgarh, or others part of the India, so they are become not prosperous. It is because of lack of resources. So that is also create imbalance or inequality in Indian society. If we discuss about our state, Odisha, so why we are not much prosperous? It is because of our we have resources, but we are not properly utilize that. So utilization is very important for prosperous and development. So we are not properly utilize our resources. We have mines, we have bauxites, we have many things we have, but still we are not prosperous. Why? Because we are not properly utilized. Second thing is what? The industrialization. So there is much industry in our Odisha compared to other states. For that reason, that this is another issue related to resources. Another resource means not only industrialization or the availability of minerals. That is not. Another thing is another issue is about water. So there is water scarcity. So you see there are many issues related disputes related to water. Okay, if you discuss about in south part there is a water dispute related to Kaveri. In Orissa we have dispute with Chhattisgarh related to our Mahanadi. Okay, so resources are of India. ସବୁ resources ଯେତିକି ଅଛି that is India. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଆମ physical structure of India ଦେଖିବା, so we have water, we have minerals ସବୁ ଅଛି, but it is a distributed. Okay, it distributed in different part. So on the basis of availability of these resources, some states are means prosperous and some are not prosperous. So water is a major dispute related to this regionalism. So not only this about these other big issues, for examples like Indus River disputes between India and Pakistan. In Orissa, there is dispute related to Mahanadi. Similarly, in Kaveri issue, okay, so Kaveri water dispute related to this Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. So similarly, different part of different water issues. Ach. So because of this not availability of resources or disputes, so there is no development of our country. We think about our region, that how our region will be developed. We are not thinking about the development of India. We think about only our state. Okay, a particular region. So because of this problem, what the regionalism started. So we discussed that what are the main factors regionalism. So first territory, then related to resources, and another is related to development. Okay, and another thing is what now opportunities. So these are the problems of regionalism. So because of these diversities, these problems are created: regionalism, linguism, casteism, racism. So these are problems of India. So we discuss about that how is united India is united and how it is diversified and what are the threat to national integrations. So ଆମେ ଯଦି ଆହୁରି other issues ଦେଖିବା, the other important issues for example ଆମେ ଯଦି nationalism, terrorism. So these are also major threats to our Indian national integrations. Okay. So there are disputes related to this. So nationalism means what? As we know that it's create problem in Odisha, other part of states. So this nationalism, terrorism also create threat for our unity. So these are the unity and diversity and threat to national integration. So nationalism means what? The nationalism means feeling of patriotic. So we belongs to a particular nation and we think about the development of that particular nation. But because of our selfishness, this, because of our own interest, we are not thinking about the development of India. So there is no development progress. So we only think about a particular region. So it's great threat for our integrations. Now we come to the second second unit. So learners, again I repeated. So there are six blocks. One is introduction, India as a plural society, social structure and practices, social institution and change, social identities and change, then state, society, religion. So today we will discuss about our first unit, and also we discuss about this all the things. We discuss introduction, then also we discuss about unity and diversities. Now and another thing, there are 4 units, 12 units. Okay. So today we cover 2 units. So unity and diversity in India, another is changes in India. Okay. So as we know, as you know that change is universal. Any society, it may be static or it may be dynamic. Always there is a change. Static societies, their change or their development is very slow, but in dynamic societies, the rate of change is very fast. So Indian society also known for its changes. Indian society is not a static society. In every sense, there is change. So change is the unchangeable law of nature. So change is must. So now we'll discuss about how changes started in India. So there are many factors are there which create change in our India. What type of changes? Change means what? Now something modification or alteration. ताको हमें change कहूचे. So when we discuss about social change, then we'll discuss about how society changes. So that we'll discuss about in context of India. So what are the factors of this change? So there are many factors. In common factors ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା, the common factor ଆସୁଛି କ'ଣ? Modernization, westernization, urbanization, industrialization, legislation, education. Okay. So because of these changes, there is changes in different institutions. ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି from the beginning I discuss about different institutions. ଯେମିତି କହିଲି social, political, economic, religious, okay, educational. So different institution how there is a change. So change କେମିତି ଆସିଲା? So we'll discuss about that. So ଯଦି ଆମେ starting କରିବା all institutions, କେତେଟା common ଅଛି ଆଉ କେତେଟା specific ଅଛି. So what are the common factors of change in Indian society? The common factors are like modernization. Modernity ଆମେ ଯାହାକୁ କହୁଛେ. Modernity means what? ନା change in outlook, change in our thought, ତାକୁ ଆମେ modernity କହୁଛେ ବା modernization ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛେ. So how modernization started in India? ଯଦି ଆମେ modernization କହିବା, for example, Indian society is a very traditional society, orthodox society ଥିଲା. But how changes came in India? It is because of change in our attitude, because of change in our thinking or our attitude, outlook বা thinking ଆମେ କହୁଛେ, ସେଥିରେ changes ଆସିଲା. For example, if you discuss about the status of women, so in our traditional society, the status of women is very low. Why? And it is because of the rigidity, patriarchy of Indian society. But slowly, there is change in the status of women. Why? And it is because of our outlook, because of our thinking. We give importance to a women education. Girls' education is very important. So all are equal. So ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ modernity ଆସିଲା, ସେଇ status ରେ ଆସିଲା. Similarly, ଯଦି ଆମେ other modernization ଦେଖିବା, for example, there are some changes in our culture, practices. Changes culture and practices means what? For example, in traditional society, in traditional Indian society, there are many evil practices are there. Okay. For example, sati pratha, child marriage. Okay, so there is no scope for widow marriage. Okay, suppression of women, exploitation of women. So all these things. But because of this modernization, modernity word, now there is changes in the status of women. So now they are secure in our Indian society. So see it as another thing. How to count modernization? The modernization in our economy, not only in thinking, not only in our attitude, but also in economy also. So economic institution came with the modernization as well. It is because of industrialization. So earlier Indian society is a subsistence agriculture thila, subsistence economy thila. So we only depend on agriculture. So there is no other alternatives of livelihood. So ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେଇଠି କ'ଣ ନା changes ଆସୁନଥିଲା. But slowly with industrialization, okay, so there is changes. So already you have discussed in your fundamental paper that what are the emergence of sociology, okay, like industrialization, French Revolution. So industrialization also created a vast change in our Indian society. So it changes our total economic patterns, economic systems. Okay, so it's create many opportunities, many jobs. So because of industrialization, what our social institutions, our economic institutions are changed. So ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା କ'ଣ ନା industrialization ରେ positive changes ବି ଆସିଲା. Maybe industrialization economic development ହେଲା. But because of industrialization also there are some changes in our social structure. Social structure means କ'ଣ? ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ systematic arrangement of different institutions. So similarly ଆମେ ଯଦି caste system ଦେବା, caste system ରେ changes ଆସିଲା. Okay. So occupation is not fixed now. So anybody, any caste people can choose any occupation. So there is liberties there. Okay. So because of industrialization, ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ structure ରେ changes ଆସିଲା. Caste structure ରେ. Similarly, because of industrialization, there is changes in our social institutions. For example, our family, marriage, kinship patterns. Okay. So there is changes in our relationships. So family ରେ କେମିତି changes ଆସିଲା because of industrialization? Now because of industrialization, the joint families are broken down into nuclear families, small families. So because of this one, now there is changes in relationship also. So earlier जो bond ଥିଲା, जो unity ଥିଲା ଗୋଟେ family ର, that is ସେଟା maintain ହେଲାନି. Why? Now because of people are migrating from rural area to urban areas for industrial purpose or for searching of jobs or for job opportunities. So they are migrated. So social relationship changes ଆସିଲା. There is changes in our cultural pattern also. So earlier ଆମର ଯେତେ ସବୁ practices ଥିଲା, religious practice ହଉ ବା family ର practice ଯାଉ, ତା ଦେହରେ ବି changes ଆସିଗଲା. Family structure change ହେଇଗଲା. ଆଗରୁ ଯୋଉ male dominated society ବା patriarchy ଥିଲା, ତା ଦେହରେ ବି changes ଆସିଗଲା. So industrialization not only changes the economic institution, it changes also social institutions. Okay. It also affected political institutions. How? Now those who are industrialists, those who are capitalists, so they have wealth. So with that, they have political power also. So political institution will be changes. Now political system is controlled by corporate. So there is change. Indian society changes asila. Similarly, because of industrialization, other changes we see. So this modernization, this is because of industrialization means what? Modernization. So because of modernization, there are many changes in our Indian society. Now come to another factor of change. So that is known as westernization. Then what is the difference between modernization and westernization? So modernization, there is no means it is not derived from any particular state. Okay, it is universal. But westernization in India means what? Now westernization started in India with Britishers. When Britishers came to India, this westernization start. Westernization means what? Take the culture, Indian culture and Western culture जो हम कहते हैं. So Indian culture is westernized. तो ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କହୁଛୁ westernization. So it is westernized means we adopt their culture. ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ concept କହିଥିଲି starting ରୁ କହିଲି assimilation. So assimilation means what? କହିଲି interaction of two cultures. But one thing is assimilation accommodation ର difference କ'ଣ? ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କହିଥିଲି unity ର ଗୋଟେ factor ହଉଛି tradition of accommodation ବା adjustment. So two difference between assimilation and accommodation. In assimilation, one culture is dominate over the other. So that is known as assimilation. Accommodation means what? Now there is conflict, but after that they adjust with each culture. So it is dominance or sovereignty strong. So in case of India also, so ଯେମିତି କହିଲି two cultures, Indian culture and Western culture. So Western culture dominate over Indian culture. Okay. So Western culture is dominant culture, Indian culture is subordinate. Why? Now we many things adopt from Western. That doesn't mean Western people they are not adopting our culture, but the rate of adaptation, the amount of adaptation by assimilation is westernized. So with Britishers, this westernization process started in India. So what are the main aspects of westernization? So for example, I mean, if your culture, so culture is very important for a Indian. I mean, study culture, Indian society by Indian culture. It is specific to India. So how there is change in our culture? So cultural change means what? Now culture means what? ବା ଆମେ ତ ସଂସ୍କୃତି କହୁଛେ culture means what? ନା culture is a way of life ବା କହିପାରିବା, ନହେଲେ ଆମେ ଏମିତି ବି କହିବା sum total of for examples like our customs, traditions, values, knowledge, language, ideas, our practices, all are the part of this culture. So there is a cultural change in Indian society because of the influence of westernization, but because of western impact by Britishers. କେମିତି? So ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି culture କହିଲି ଗୋଟେ part ହଉଛି practices, ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ କହିଲି different evil practices practiced in our before independence, ଯେମିତି ସତୀ ପ୍ରଥା ହଉ, widow there is no scope for widow remarriage, child marriage. So ଏଇଟା କଣ? These are the evil practices. Okay, but these are the part of Indian society, Indian culture. But with Britishers, there is change in these practices because of the initiative of Britishers, these practices are abolished from India. So now there is no sati pratha. Okay, there is no child marriage. Okay, Britishers they legislate many laws. For examples, there is a Sarda Act 1929 against, it means what? Na abolition of child marriage. So ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ practices change ଆସିଲା, ସତୀ ପ୍ରଥାରେ changes ଆସିଲା, women education ଆସିଲା. So that is part of our practices. So there is change in our practices because of this western impact. ଆଉ କଣ changes ଆସିଲା? There is change in our education. ଯଦି ଆମେ କହିବା ଆମର ହଉଛି Vedic culture ବା Vedic language ବା Sanskrit is the language, but because of the western impact, but because of the initiative of Britishers, English language spread in India. Okay, so there are many commissions are that is not important for our discussion. So in education the changes ଆସିଲା. So universalization of English education ହେଇଗଲା. All people they adopted English education. But one benefit of this adaptation of English education was na there is change in our attitude. କେମିତି? ବା change in attitude କହିପାରିବା, but it will help for freedom movement. For examples, there are many concepts. For example, ଆମେ ଯଦି political science language ରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା, ଯେମିତି in our Indian constitution there are in our preamble. So there is many concepts are there like liberty, equality, fraternity, justice. So means what? ଏଟା ସବୁ କୋଉଠୁ derive ହେଲା? So these are means derived from different part of the country. So ଆମେ ଯଦି Indian constitution କହୁଛେ, Indian constitution is a borrowed constitutions. Mean we borrow many things from different countries. So similarly from France, because of French Revolution, many philosophers. So they develop many concepts like what is liberty, what is freedom, what is the value of freedom, then what is justice, justice କଣ, equality କଣ. ଏଇ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆକୁ ଆସିଲେ ସେତେବେଳେ ହିଁ ଆମେ ମାନେ ସେଇ ବ୍ରିଟିଶର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କଠୁ ଆମେ ଇଂଲିଶ ଏଜୁକେସନ ନେଲେ, ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ବି ଆମ ଫ୍ରିଡମ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଗଲ ହିଁ ହେଲ୍ପ କଲା. So because of English education, many social reformist like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, okay, he played an important role in reform in Indian society by the practices thila sati pratha, there is no scope for girls for educations. So because of study of language English educations, so Raja Ram Mohan know about these concepts. So justice ho, equality ho, freedom ho, ତ ଏଇ ସବୁ concept ଆସିବାରୁ ହିଁ we know that we are a free country. ନହେଲେ ତ ଆମେ ବ୍ରିଟିଶର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମେ 200 till now we are controlled by the Britishers. But because of this, because of the concept of freedom, ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ତ କହୁଛେ ଆମ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ ସୋସାଇଟି ଯୋଉ ହେଲା ଆମେ କାହିଁ କହୁଛେ freedom fight, means free is our right. Okay, freedom is our right. For that reason we fought against the Britishers. ନହେଲେ ତ ସେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମେ fighting କରିନେ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ. ତ ଏଇ concept ଆସିଲା. Then come equality. So in our constitutions there is provision equality. Equality means all are equal before law. So law is equal for all. So equality କାହିଁକି ରହିଲା? ନା because of equality there is no differences. Okay. So ଯଦି equality ନଥାନ୍ତା differences ରହିଥାନ୍ତା, ଆଉ differences ରହିଥିଲେ conflict ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା, ଆଉ conflict ହେଇଥିଲେ ଗୋଟେ state ବା ଗୋଟେ nationର development ହେଇପାରିନଥାନ୍ତା. So equality concept ବି ଆସିଲା. So all are equal. Similarly justice. So justice our right. In our Indian constitutions we have many rights ବା fundamental rights ଆମେ କହୁଛେ. Okay. So maybe anything. Right to equality हो, right to freedom हो, right against religion हो, right against exploitation हो, ବା constitutional remedies. What is? These are the rights. Okay, freedom, equality, and justice. So justice is our right. So we have some provisions in our constitutions, Indian constitution, ଯେ ଆମେ ଆମ justice ଆମ rights ପାଇଁ ଆମେ or our justice ପାଇଁ ଆମେ fight କରିପାରିବୁ. Okay. So ଏଇ ସବୁ ଯୋଉ concept ଆସିଲା ଏଗୁଡା ସବୁ our attitude ହଉ ବା ସବୁଥିରେ ଆମର changes ଆସିଲା. So it is possible what? It is possible of this English education. Okay. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଣ? ନା because of English education ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା with Britishers, these civil services started in India. Okay, why? And it is because of the initiative of the Britishers. So education also play an important role in our change in our attitude, in our economy, everything. So because of these concepts, India freedom allow develop ହେଲା. So all these are possible because of Western impact. ଆଉ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା culture part, ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି culture not only practices ବା knowledge ହଉ ଯୋଉଥିରେ ହଉ ସେଥିରେ ବି changes ଆସିଲା. Okay. ଆଉ culture part କଣ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି food habit ହଉ, dressing pattern ହଉ, behavior ହଉ ସବୁଥିରେ changes ଆସିଲା. So our food pattern changed. Okay, we adopted Western food. Okay, so there is no concept of like Western food. For example, nowadays we are pizza, burger, all the things. These are not Indian foods. These are the Western foods. So we adopt their food culture. Now we prefer, instead of preferring Indian food, we prefer Western food. Why? Now because of the dominance of Western culture. Similarly, in dressing patterns. So we adopted their dressing pattern, not Indian. So Indian culture in dressing pattern is different. If we discuss about the history, so Gandhi give much importance to Swadeshi, Khadi. So that is our food, means our dressing pattern. Our but with Britishers, what the new dressing pattern started, means the youth people. So instead of the preferring Indian dress or this Khadi or Swadeshi dress, they adopted their dressing patterns, food patterns. Similarly, what na behavior pattern also. Okay. So earlier in India, they are very there is personal relationship. Okay. Personal relation means close relations. But westernization what? Now there is artificial relations are created. Okay. ଆମେ ଯଦି urbanization କହିବା ଆଉ rural urban ଭିତରେ difference କଣ? ନା it is based on relationship. So rural people relations are very close, very intimate, personal. But in urban society, you see that in urban society the relations are like artificial relations. There is no intimate relations, personal relations, close to close contact. Okay. So everything informal. So it is what now it is because of this Western impact. So Western impact ସବୁ ଆମ culture, food pattern ହଉ, dressing pattern ହଉ, and behavioral pattern ହଉ, relationship ହଉ, ସବୁଥିରେ change ଆସିଲା. So first is modernization, second is westernization. Now we'll discuss about the urbanization. So how urbanization create change in Indian society. So urbanization means what? The spread of urban cities. Okay, two concepts there: urbanization and urbanism. So urbanism is a what? Now urbanism is an ideology that we think that we are urbanites, they are ruralites. So this is a urbanism. But what is urbanization? Now when the growth of urban area. Okay, that is known as urbanization. So before independence, ଏତେ urbanization ନଥିଲା in India. Okay. So but after independence, the urbanization rate is rapidly increased. Why? ଯେମିତି କହିଲି, when Britishers came, so industrialization started in India. So the industrialization started, people migrating from rural to urban areas. So their urban life is totally different from rural area. Okay. So because of this development of urbanization, how it's changed Indian society. The first thing is migration. ଯେମିତି କହିଲେ migration means from one place to another place movement. So ଯୋଉ migration ହେଲା ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି ଆମ social structure ରେ changes ଆସିଲା. Many changes are started in our social structure ଯେମିତି caste ହଉ our social institution family marriage ହଉ ତା ଦେହରେ changes ଆସିଲା. Why? ନା because people migrating from rural to urban areas ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ହେଲା. So ସେଇ migration ରେ ବି there are two factors are there. Okay, one is push factor, one is pull factor. Push factor means what? Now it force you to move from one place to another. So ଯେମିତି industrialization ରେ development ହେଲା ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ agriculture ର destruction ହେଲା. So because of the searching of job, people migrating from rural area to urban areas. So first thing, our economy is devastated because of this westernization, because of Britishers, our agriculture is destroyed. Our small industries like cottage industries or other occupations are destroyed because of these westernizations. So in this way, what now when people migrating from rural to urban areas, once they settle in rural area, they are not interested to back to the rural area. तो ସେଥିପାଇଁ କଣ ହେଲା ନା urbanization ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ grow କଲା ତ ଏଇଟା push factor ଯୋଉଟା ତମକୁ force କରେ because of lack of job or for unemployment, okay, or poverty. These are some of the factors which force the people to urban areas. Pull factor means what? Now pull factor is what? Now pull factor which attract you to move from one place to another. So because of the luxurious life of urban area ho, by their lifestyle standard of living ho, so they are attracted. So in this way, what now because of both factors, push factor and pull factors, or because of this migration, what now urban cities are rapidly increasing. So when urban cities are increased, so rural society जो institution सेटा सब they lose their importance. So ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ Indian society ରେ changes ଆସିଲା. So ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ factor. Job opportunities ଆସିଲା. But the relationships are become weaker, impersonal ହେଇଗଲା. Okay, there is no close bond. So there is no interdependence in urban area. The relations are impersonal. There is no intimate relations. Okay. Then other things is what urbanization ଗଲା ନା ଯେମିତି job opportunity ହେଲା but relation ରେ changes ଆସିଲା. ତ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ factor. So modernization, westernization, and urbanization. Another important factor in change in Indian society, what? Now another is education. So because of education, what? Now there is change in our society. Our attitude ରେ change ଆସିଲା, development ହେଲା. So our literacy rate is increased. Okay, ଗୋଟେ ସୁସ୍ଥ ବା ଗୋଟେ prosperous state ପାଇଁ main important is what? ନା education. How many people are educated? So ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ we give much importance to education. Why we there are so many schemes like universal life of primary educations. ତ ଆମେ education କୁ ଏତେ importance କଣ ପାଇଁ ଦଉଛେ? Because ଯୋଉ countryର ବା ଯୋଉ state ବା nationର literacy rates ଅଧିକା ଥିବ ସେଇ country ସେତେ develop କରିପାରିବ। ତ ଏଇ education ଦ୍ୱାରା ବି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ବହୁତ ସାରା changes ଆସିଛି। Okay, attitudinal changes ହଉ ବା institutional changes ହଉ ସବୁଥିରେ changes ଆସିଛି। Attitudinal changes କଣ? ନା earlier ଆମର means different castes means education is not equally distributed. Okay, so poverty ବି ଗୋଟେ factor ଥିଲା। ତ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ କଣ ହେଲା ନା there is attitudinal changes in our Indian society. Okay, so now we see our literacy rate also increase day by day. Okay, so earlier there is inequality among male and female educations, but now there is means equality ଆସିଲାଣି ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ literacy rate increase ହେଲାଣି. Okay, so why we give much importance? Why the government invest more money on education? Now for the development of a country. So in this way our so legislation also a very important factor in change in Indian society. How? Legislation means what? Legal provisions हो ताको आमे legislation कहूचे. Legal provisions कौन? Now if you just see, if you have no constitutions, so nobody will obey the rule regulation of a society. So because of this constitution, because of these constitutional provisions, so the people's means this provisions control the behavior of individual. So it not only control the behavior of individual, but also it's facilitated. For example, if you discuss about uh, caste system, but about what tribes so okay. So some tribes, some castes are exploited. Why? Because provisions not there. But in constitution, they may call equality, justice provisions are there, fundamental rights are there. Okay. So these provisions protect our rights. So it means what? Legislation. Similarly, there are other provisions. For example, in our fundamental rights, there is a provision of right against exploitation. If there is no provisions, which legal nathanda, then anybody can exploit anyone else because of that. Similarly, in our constitution, there are some reservations for different tribes or different caste. So it is means what na protective discrimination. ଆମେ ଯାହାକୁ କହୁଛେ. So these are provisions. Discrimination, but protect their rights. There are some provisions. Similarly, ଆମେ ଯଦି legislation ରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା ଆମର administration ହଉ ବା police ହଉ ବା court ହଉ, ତ ଆ ଦେହରେ ବି କଣ ନା there are changes. ଆହୁରି example ଦେଇକି କହିଦଉଛି. For example, ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି there is change in status of women. So status of women କେମିତି ହେଲା? It is because of the legal provisions, because of some reservations are for them. Okay, in employment or education. ତ ଏଇ provision ପାଇଁ ମାନେ ଆଜି status ଟା ତାଙ୍କର increase ହେଇଛି. So all the factors are what? Now these all factors are responsible changes in Indian society. So Indian society are both structural changes or functional changes possible ହେଲା. It is but what? Now it is because of these changes. ଯଦି ଏତିକି ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଆସିନଥାନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି ଷ୍ଟାଟିକ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି ହେଇକି ରହିଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା, ବ୍ୟାକୱାର୍ଡ ସୋସାଇଟି. ସୋ ନାଓ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି ଇଜ ଏ ଇକୋନୋମିକାଲ ପାୱାରଫୁଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ କହୁଛେ ଆମେ. Why? It is because of change. If you not adopted industrialization, ଆଜି ଏତେ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇନଥାନ୍ତା. ଓକେ. ଯଦି ମଡର୍ନାଇଜେସନ ଯେମିତି କହିଲି ମଡର୍ନାଇଜେସନ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଯଦି ଆମେ ଏଗ୍ରିକଲଚରକୁ ମଡର୍ନାଇଜ କରିନଥାନ୍ତେ ତାହେଲେ ଆଜି ଆମେ ଡେଭଲପ ହେଇପାରିନଥାନ୍ତେ. ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଫର ଦ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ वी नीड चेंज. ओके. सो स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज भी दरकार, फंक्शनल चेंजेस भी दरकार, एंड दिस पॉसिबल बिकॉज ऑफ द all these factors. So this is about our first unit of introduction of okay. Now there is changes in Indian society, but still we maintain our dignity. Okay. So now we see both culturally ho, politically ho, economically ho. Now India is developed. I'm calling Indian society is a developing country, but indirectly it's marched towards developed state, developed country. So take the example of like this corona issue. Okay, many developed countries are not able to manage this pandemic, but India is managed. Okay, so for that reason, India is no culturally. For example, yoga. Okay, so India is known for the origin of yoga. Now there is international yoga day is there. Okay, June 5. So not only you adapt the Western culture, maybe it's dominate over our culture, but still our Indian society, our Indian cultural is known for all these things. Okay, culturally we are superior. Politically କହିବାକୁ ଗଲେ, now we have political power. Earlier we are dominated or we are suppressed by the Britishers, but after that now we politically powerful among the world. Okay, so now take the example of recent example ଯେମିତି କହିଲି Indian China issue. So China in population or in economic, they are superior. But now India is, because of the support of other countries, India is now become powerful. So it is politically also powerful. Similarly, economically je dekhiba. So now economically we are self-sufficient. We are not depending on other countries. Earlier we totally depend on China for for products or anything else. Okay, but now we are self-independent. So because of all these factors, there is changes in Indian society, and we are now economically, culturally, and politically more powerful. So what is this? These are the changes in Indian society. ତ ସେଇଟା ଥିଲା introduction ର. Okay. ଆଉ ଥିଲା କଣ, ଯେମିତି unity and diversity ରେ ଆମେ discussion କଲେ, unity in India and diversity. So unity ରେ ଆମେ କଣ discussion କଲେ ସବୁ? Geopolitical unity, how geographically or politically we are united. Okay, now we are controlling by one administration. We have a political systems. ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା, ଧର ଯଦି ଆମେ democracy କହିବା, democracy means what? Of the people, by the people, for the peoples. Okay. So in democracy ରେ ଆମେ କଣ? Peoples ମାନଙ୍କ rights ଅଛି. But we have a administration. We have a administrative structure. ଯେମିତି society ର social structure ଅଛି, caste, class, ସେମିତି political ବି structure ସେମିତି ଅଛି, central government, state government, district government, block, village. So we are controlled by one administration. So that is geopolitical unit. ତାପରେ ଆଉ କଣ unity discussion କରିଥିଲେ ନା social institution pilgrimage, that is related to what? That is related to religion. Okay. So religiously we are united. Then tradition of accommodation. ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ କହିଲି, we are accommodated, we are adjust with different religions, different cultures. Okay. So that is adaptations. Then tradition of interdependence. So that is also an Indian society known for interdependence. So we interdependent on each other, or we cooperate with each other. Okay, culturally, socially, politically, that is integration. ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ interdependence ଏମିତି କହିଦେବା, take the example of family. So in family also we interdependent on each other. Okay, we have different members but we depend on each other. In economy also we interdependent. So these are some of the unities. Diversity is କଣ? Diversity is ଯେମିତି କହିଲି racial diversities. So people are differentiated diversities on the basis of their physical and cultural appearance. ବା ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା physical appearance ଆଉ cultural ଉପରେ ବି they are different. So racially there is diversity but differences are there. Then linguistic differences, because various languages. Okay, so there are more than means more than 600 languages are there. Okay, dialects are there. So on the basis of also we are diversified, differentiated. We think that our language is superior. Okay, Odia language is superior, Bengali language is superior. So there is always this fight or between the Dravidian or Aryans. So ସେଇଟା ବି ଗୋଟେ differences ଆସିଲା. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି କଣ, religious diversity, religious differences, because India is the land of many religions. Okay, means we have many religions ଅଛନ୍ତି, religion ରେ ପୁଣି sect, then cult. Okay, so on that basis also we differentiated. So ଯଦି ଆମେ major religion ଦେଖିବା, Hinduism, Islam, Sikhism, Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism or Parsis. So yeah, many religions are there. ତାପରେ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା sect କଥା କହିବା, ତ ତା ଦେହରେ ବି ପୁଣି differences ଅଛି. ଆମେ cult କଥା ଯଦି କହିବା, for example ଆମେ ଯଦି କହୁଛେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ cult. Okay, for examples there are Shaivites are there, Vaishnavites are there, Shaktas are there. So in this way, within the religion also there is differences where diversities are there. So all these diversities what and this create tension in the Indian society. So this is a diversity. Then linguistic, religious diversity, and casteism. And different caste we have. So that is a diversity. So all things are the diversities. Then this is about the first one. In second unit we discuss about also we discuss about the other things. For examples like the problems created by this diversity. For examples, from linguistic diversity, linguism, from religious diversity, communalism, from ଯଦି ଆମେ region based କହିବା regionalism, caste କହିଲେ casteism, so racism ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବା racism. Racism means what? For example, ଗୋଟେ example ଦେବି, recent example ଥିଲା ୟୁଏସ୍ ରେ, ୟୁଏସ୍ ରେ ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ I mean black American କୁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ police ଟେ ମାରିଦେଲା, ସେଠି କଣ, that is on the basis of racism. Okay, so this racism is created from race. So all these are the problems created by this. Similarly, we discuss about what? We discuss about other things. For examples, in second unit, we discuss about changes in Indian society, how there is change in Indian society, and what are the factors behind the changes. For example, then we call modernization, westernization. Okay, modernization, westernization, urbanization, legislation, education. Okay, all these things are the factors related to change in Indian society. Okay, so once again I repeat, so this is about specific. Okay, in fundamental sociology we just discuss about the concepts in general, but in in sociology of India means what? Now we have to study about the India. For example, in uh, in fundamental paper, so in that, suppose you discuss you study about family in simple. Okay, but here we'll discuss specific out of family. We simply know that family is two types: joint family, nuclear family. But in Indian society we'll discuss about the importance of family in Indian society, ସେଇଟା ଆଉ other concept ଯେମିତି କି for example changes ବି ଆମେ discussion କରିଥିବେ, social change in fundamental paper ରେ, but in Indian society specifically we discuss about change in Indian society, social change in Indian society. So paper first is about concepts. Okay, for that reason this is known as fundamentals of sociology. Okay, you have to know about the basic concepts because sociology is a very conceptual subject. It's very it is, we think that sociology is very easy, but it is not that much of easy. Without knowing concept, it is very difficult to understand the other things. So similarly in Indian society we have to apply all the things what we learn from the paper one. Okay, we apply all the things in Indian society. So similarly other things, for example other blocks, we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss about social structure and practices. In that we'll discuss about tribe. So what is tribe, what are the features of a tribe, and what are the problems of tribe, and what are the solutions of tribes, or geographical distribution of tribes means how different types are geographically distributed, because in India many parts. So in many part of India, we have different types. Take the case of in Orissa, there are many tribes are there. Okay, some examples like Kandho, Munda. Similarly, in other states also, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Northeast states. Okay, in different in Rajasthan, in many parts or in southern India. Okay, so in many parts the tribes are distributed. So ସେଇଟା ଆମେ discussion କରିବା. Okay, problems discussion କରିବା. What are the problems of their, the problem of tribes? Then we'll discuss about caste. So what is caste? Okay, I mean simply terms use कर दो caste. So we are confused about what is caste, what is jati, what is varna. There are differences are there. Then in that we'll discuss about how caste system emerged in India. What are the features of Indian caste system? Then what are the function of caste system in Indian society? Then we'll discuss about changes in caste systems. I mean, what are the factors of caste system? Then we'll discuss about the problems created by these caste systems. Okay. Then we'll discuss about class. Okay. ଯେମିତି caste ହେଉଛି ଗୋଟେ structure Indian society, similarly class. So class ରେ ଆମେ discussion କରିବା what is class, how classes emerge. Okay. So what are the problems related to class? Okay, all things we will discuss in that class. Okay, so difference between caste and class is what? Now caste is an endogamous group which is hierarchically stratified, but class means what? Now class a group of people those who have similar background, similar economic background हो বা social background हो ତାକୁ ଆମେ class କହୁଛେ, but in general class କହିଲେ ଆମେ ବେଶୀ economic terms ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଭାବୁଛେ, ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ we will clear about class. Then we will discuss about how in particular in India. So in India ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଖାଲି rich class poor class ଥିଲା, but in Indian society how middle class emerged. ଗୋଟେ middle class ଆମେ ଯେବେ କହୁଛେ higher caste, middle class, lower class ତ ନଥିଲା. So the how the middle class emerge in Indian society, emergence of middle class in Indian society, ତ ସେଇଟା ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ after independence ରେ କେମିତି classes emerge କଲେ, ଏ middle class concept ଟା ଆସିଲା ସେଇଠୁ, ଆଗରୁ ନଥିଲା. So we will discuss about this class in 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 uh, in next class we will discuss about the family, marriage, kinship. In that we'll discuss about what is family, types of family in India, function dysfunction of family, and changes in family, because he chapter now the social institutions and change. So social institution ର part ଯେମିତି କହିଲି family, marriage, kinship, ତ ତା ଦେହରେ changes କେମିତି ଆସେ. Similarly in that we'll discuss about marriage. In general ଆମେ ଜାଣିଛେ କିଛି types of marriage ଜାଣିଛେ, but in particular Indian context we will discuss about what is marriage, what is traditional form of marriage. So there are 8 traditional form of marriage is there. So we'll discuss about that. Then we'll discuss about the changes in marriage in India. Okay, what are the factors of changes marriage in India? Then we'll discuss about kinship. What is kinship? Types of kinship. So kinship generally called kinship is what? Like kinship is relatives backwards, where there is blood means there is blood relations, affinal relations, or adaptations. Okay, ତା ବିଷୟରେ discussion କରିବା. Kinship, then we'll discuss about the importance of kin system in Indian society. କାହିଁକିନା Indian society ଯେହେତୁ କହିଲେ ଗୋଟେ traditional society, ତ ଏଠି କେମିତି ଅ, ମାନେ importance ଅଛି kinship ର by relations ର. କାହିଁକିନା in many in family ହଉ in marriage ହଉ in many cases we need our relatives. So ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି kinship. Okay, so importance of kinship in Indian society. Then we'll discuss about social identities and changes. Okay, so social identities we'll discuss about many movements, Dalit movements. So how Dalit are exploded, different movements like Mahar movement. Okay, so Dalit movement in Tamil Nadu, Dalit movement in Maharashtra. Okay, in different part of Dalit movements we'll discuss. Then we'll discuss about gender-based movement, means how the women, what are the factors behind the exploitation of women. It is because of patriarchy. The different movements ଆମେ କାହିଁକିନା ଆମେ gender movement ଯଦି ଆମେ କହୁଛେ gender movement କହିଲେ ଆମେ in general ଯଦି ପଢିଥିବ ତାହେଲେ ସେଟା ହଉଛି means feminist movement, but in Indian context ରେ କଣ କଣ ସବୁ women movements ହେଇଥିଲା before independence and after independence, and what are the importance of movements in Indian society, what is the importance in freedom and after freedom, the importance of this gender movements. Then we'll discuss about tribal and ethnic movements. So in tribal movement, we will discuss about different types of tribal problems, tribal movements started in different part of the country, and ethnic movements. Ethnic means what? Na cultural diversity. तो ताको कहुचे तो से ethnic movement भी different ethnic movement discussion करिया. Then we'll discuss about state, society, and religion. So in that we'll discuss about communalism. So what is communalism? Then how communalism started in India, and what are the problems related to this communalism? And then we'll discuss about secularism. So what is secularism? What is the importance of secularism in India? Okay, so we'll discuss all these things in our coming classes. So with that, I will conclude today's session. So learners, if you have any doubt or query, you can ask me now. कार किसी डाउट अछि आज ये हम पढ़िली कार किसी डाउट अछि यू हैव एनी डाउट कार किसी डाउट भी पचारि परियो काना बेसी आदरे जेहेतु हम डिस्कशन गले बहुत कॉन्सेप्ट्स अछि आदरे तो इट इज वेरी कॉन्सेप्चुअल सब्जेक्ट तो सेति पे अनदर आ गोटे कथा रिपीट କରିବାକୁ चाहूची जे लर्नर्स काइंडली आगुतुरा प्री स्टडी करिक आस ओके सो आई विल सेंड द नोट्स टू यू एंड फास्ट तुम टे पढ़ी के आसले it's maybe I know that many things we know about this society Indian society but ଆଗତୁରା ଯଦି ଟିକେ study କରିକି ଆସିବ it will better that will discussion because it is not possible to finish all the courses okay within this short period of time we have to cover all things ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କିଛି ଯଦି doubt ଅଛି ତ ସେ doubt କେମିତି ପଢିଲେ ହିଁ ଆସିବ so ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଥୋड़ा pre study କରିକି ଆସିଲେ okay it will be interesting and it will be easy okay so learners you have any doubt
हेलो
yes
सर नमस्कार
ହଁ ନମସ୍କାର
सर
କିଛି
ମୁଁ
doubt ଅଛି
एक्चुअली डाउट ନାହିଁ କିଛି ସାର୍ ମୁଁ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି କି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଭଏସ ଟା ନା ଟିକେ କ୍ଲିୟର ସେ ଆସୁନି ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ପୁରା କଟି ଯାଉଛି ତ ଅଧା
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଜିନିଷ କିଛି ଜଣା ପଡୁନି କୋଉଠି ଆପଣ କଣ ପଢଉଛନ୍ତି କଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଟା ଠିକ ସେ ବୁଝା ପଡୁନି
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ଯୋଉଠି ବୁଝିପାରୁନ ସେଇଠି ମତେ ପଚାରି ପାରିବ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ ଯୋଉଠି ଅଡିଏବୁଲ ନୁହଁ ମତେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବାରବାର ପଚାରି ଯଦି ଅଡିଏବୁଲ ନୁହଁ ତାହେଲେ ମତେ କହିପାରିବ ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ମଝିରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଡାଉଟ ହଉଥିବ ପୁଣି ରିପିଟ କରିକି ବି କହିପାରିବ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ I will repeat that again
ଠିକ ଅଛି ସାର୍
ହଁ
ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ବେଟର ହୁଅନ୍ତା ଆପଣ ଯଦି ମାନେ କୋର୍ସ କଭର କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ବୁକ୍ ଦେଖିକି ବି ତ କିଛିଟା ପଢେଇ ପାରିବେ
ନାଇଁ ବୁକ୍ ନାଇଁ କାହିଁକି କହିଲି ନା it is not possible to cover one paper within 8 days it is not possible ଏଟା possible ନୁହଁ ମାନେ 5-6 ଦିନରେ ପୁରା ଟୋଟାଲ କଭର କରିବାକୁ ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ମୁଁ କଣ କହୁଛି ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ମୁଁ କଣ ମାନେ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ମାନେ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ତମ ଡାଉଟ ଥିବ ଯଦି ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା ତମର କ୍ଲିୟର କରିଦେବି ସେଇଟା କାହିଁକି ନା ତୁମ ଆଉଥରେ ପଢିବାକୁ ଟିକେ ପଡିବ ପଢିଲେ ହିଁ ମୁଁ କଣ ସବୁ ତ କଭର କରିବି ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଠି ଖାଲି କହୁଛି ତମକୁ ତ ନୋଟ୍ସ ଦେଇଦେଲେ କଣ ନା ତମେ ଟିକେ ପଢିକି ଆସିଲେ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ବୁଝିପାରିବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉଟା ବୁଝ ନଥିବ ସେଇଟା ପଚାରିଲେ ମୁଁ କ୍ଲିୟର କରିଦେବି
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଠିକ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ନୋଟ ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ କରିବେ
ହଁ ହଁ ମୁଁ ନୋଟ୍ସ ଦେଇଦେବି
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ହେଲା
ଠିକ ଅଛି
ନୋଟ୍ସ ଦେଇଦେବି ତ
ହଁ
ତ
କୁହନ୍ତୁ
ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ କାହିଁକିନା ଗୋଟେ ଦିନରେ ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ଲକ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ କରିବା ନଟ୍ ଇଜି ଟାସ୍କ ଓକେ ୱିଦିନ 2 hours ତ ଯଦି ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସରୁମ ଟିଚିଂ କରିବା କ୍ଲାସରୁମ ଟିଚିଂ ରେ ସଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ ଥାଏ ବଟ୍ ସର୍ଟ ପିରିୟଡ଼ ଟାଇମରେ ତ ସବୁ କଭର କରିହବନି ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଯଦି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଜିନିଷ ମୁଁ ସେଇଗୁଡ଼ା ହିଁ କହିଦଉଛି ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଟିକେ ପଢିକି ଆସିଲେ କଣ ନା ଟିକେ ବେଟର ଟିକେ ଇଜି ହବ ତମମାନଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝିବା ପାଇଁ ସବୁ
ଠିକ ଅଛି
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ସାର୍
ହଁ
ହେଲେ ସାର୍ ନୋଟ୍ କେମିତି ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ କରିବେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ
ଅ,
ଗ୍ରୁପରେ
ହଁ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ କରିକି ଗୋଟେ ମୁଁ ସବୁ ନୋଟ୍ସ ଯେତିକି ଥିବ ବା ପିପିଟି ଫିପିଟି କଲେ ମୁଁ ତା ଦେହରେ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ କରିଦେବି ପଠେଇଦେବି ତା ଦେହରେ
ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଯୋଉ ନମ୍ବର ଆମେ ସବୁ ଦେଇଛୁ ସେଟା ଆଡ କରିଦେଇଥିଲେ ବେଟର ହବ କାଇଁ ଆମେ
ହଁ
କିଛି
ହଁ 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 ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ସେ ଗ୍ରୁପ କରିକି ସେ ନମ୍ବର ସବୁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଡ କରିଦେଇକି ମେ ବି ଟୁମୋରୋ ମୁଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍
ନୋଟ୍
କାଲି
ସବୁ
କଣ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦବୁ
କଣ
କାଲି ଆମେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ଟା ମେସେଜ କରିଦବୁ କାଲି ଆପଣ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆଡ କରିଦେବେ ଆଉ
ହଁ ହଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି
ଓକେ ସାର୍ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ
ହଉ
ସାର୍ ଆମେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ଟା କୋଉଥିରେ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିବୁ
ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଫର୍ମ କରିଦେବି ଗୋଟେ ମୋ ନମ୍ବର ଟା ନହେଲେ ରଖିଦେଇଥାଅ ସେଇଟାରେ
ଓକେ ସାର୍
ପଠେଇ
ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନମ୍ବର ଟା ଦେଲେ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ
ଓକେ 9090
9090
35
35
9845
9
ଓକେ ସେ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଫର୍ମ କରିଦେବି ସେଇ ନୋଟ୍ସ ଫୋଟ ପିପିଟି ଯାହା ଥିବ ତା ଦେହରେ ମୁଁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦଉଛି।
ଠିକ ଅଛି ସାର୍, ଆପଣ
ହଉ
ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆଡ କରିକି ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦେବେ।
ହଉ
ଆମେ
ହଉ
ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆମ ନମ୍ବର ସବୁ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିଦଉଛୁ ହାଇ ଲେଖିକି, ଆପଣ
ହୁଁ
ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆଡ କରିଦେବେ।
ହଉ 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 ଠିକ ଅଛି।
ଓକେ ସାର୍, ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ।
ହଉ। ଆଉ କାହାର କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି? ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଲର୍ନର୍ସ କହିଲି ନୋଟ୍ ପଠେଇଲା ପରେ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଟିକେ ପଢି ଦଉଥିବ ହେଲା କି, ତ ସେଇଟା
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ପଢିଦେଇକି ମୁଁ ତାପରେ ଆସିକି ଜଷ୍ଟ ମାନେ ବୁଝେଇବି, ବଟ୍ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଯଦି କିଛି କ୍ଲାରିଫିକେସନ ଦେବି କରେଇଦେବି।
ସାର୍ କୋର୍ସ କଣ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇନି ନା ଏମିତି ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କ୍ଲିୟର କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ?
ଆଜି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଯାଇଛି, ଜଷ୍ଟ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ତ ଆମର କଭର କରିଦେଲେ, ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ବ୍ଲକ ଟା ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆମେ ସିଲାବସ୍ ଅଛି ଟି ପାଖରେ?
ହଁ ସାର୍ ଅଛି।
ହଁ ସେ ସିଲାବସ୍ ଅନୁସାରେ ହିଁ ଡେଲି ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ଲକ, ଆଜି ଯେମିତି ଦିଟା ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଆମେ କଭର କଲେ, ଯେମିତି ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଇନ୍ ଡାଇଭର୍ସିଟି ଇନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଇନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ, ତ ଏମିତି କରି ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ଲକ ସବୁ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ କରିବା।
ସାର୍ ଏକ୍ଜାମ କଣ ଏବେ କିଛି ଇନଫର୍ମ, ଏକ୍ଜାମ କେବେ କଣ ହବ?
ନାଇଁ ଏକ୍ଜାମ ପାଇଁ ଏବେ ତ ସେମିତି କିଛି ଜଣା ନାହିଁ। ଓକେ, ଆସିଲେ ସାର୍ ଇନଫର୍ମ କରିଦେବେ, ନହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଜାଣିବି ମୁଁ ନହେଲେ ଇନଫର୍ମ କରିଦେବି।
ଓକେ ସାର୍। ଓକେ ସାର୍, ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ।
ଓକେ। ଓକେ, ତ ଆଜି ଯଦି କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ନାହିଁ ତାହେଲେ କାଲି ଆମେ ବ୍ଲକ୍ 2 ର ସୋସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଆଉ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସେସ୍ ଟ୍ରାଇବ୍ସ, କାଷ୍ଟ ଆଉ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କରିବେ ହେଲା।
Yes, sir.
No. ଆଉ କାହାର କିଛି ପଚାରିବାର ଅଛି? ସେ ପେପରଟା ବହୁତ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ପେପର, ଓକେ, କାହିଁକିନା ଆମେ ଜାଣିଛୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି ବିଷୟରେ, ବଟ୍ ଆଧରେ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂରେ ଆମେ ଟିକେ ଡିପଲି ସୋସିଓଲୋଜିକାଲି ୱିଲ୍ ଡିସ୍କସ୍, କାହିଁକିନା ଇନ୍ ଜେନେରାଲ ତ ଆମେ ସବୁ କିଛି ଜାଣିଛେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ସୋସାଇଟି କ'ଣ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି, ବଟ୍ in this paper paper na kahin sociology of India. So sociology of India means what? Now we have to study Indian society from the sociological point of view. Okay, तो जेहेतु sociology ଗୋଟେ conceptual subject, it means sociologically हमें Indian society को study करिए। ओके, होप मते भाबुची आज क्लास इंटरेस्टिंग ହେଇଥିବ, ଆଉ ଆହୁରି ମୁଁ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବି ଟିକେ ଆହୁରି ବି ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଅଧିକା ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦେଇକି ମୁଁ ଆଉ କ୍ଲାରିଫାଏ କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବି, ବଟ୍ ୱାନ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ କିନ୍ତୁ କିଏ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ହେଇକି ଆସିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ଓକେ, ଯୋଉ ଲର୍ନର୍ସ ମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ତମେ ତ ଡାଉଟ୍ ହେଲେ ମତେ ପଚାରୁଥିବ, ବଟ୍ ମୁଁ ବି ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ଟିକେ ପଚାରିବି, ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ମାନେ କିଛି ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ନା ନାଇଁ ନହେଲେ ନାହିଁ, ସୋ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ତ କାଲି ମୁଁ ଆଜି ଯାହା ପଢିଥିଲି ତ କାଲି ମୁଁ ଆଉଥରେ ସେଇଟା ରିପିଟ୍ କରି ପଚାରିବି ହେଲା। तो होपफुली କାହିଁକିନା ଆମେ କାଉନସିଲର ତ କାଉନସିଲିଂ କରିବା ହେଉଛି ମୋ କାମ। ତ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ହୋପ୍ ଯେ ତମେ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂଲି ଶୁଣୁଥିବ ଆଉ ମୁଁ ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ପଚାରିବି। So with this I conclude my today's class session. Okay, ଯଦି କିଛି doubt ଥିବ ତ you ask me tomorrow. जो लर्नर्स मैंने भी शुणुच एटलिस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग लगुच तो होप किसी डाउट नथिबो तमरो हला तो काली हमें नेक्स्ट स्टार्ट करिया सेशन।